Another day, another dollar. We are back. Me and Danny Ivan are doing the show. Danny Ivan is my brother, so we have a lot to go over. A lot of craziness has happened this last week, and we'll follow up on some other stories and stuff like that. But quick recap of life is awesome. So no matter what, life is good. So comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're trying just to build a community so people, have some interaction. Danny, anything interesting happened to you this week? Anything?
Just looking at we're here in Arizona and we're getting some storms. I'm looking out the window right now, seeing some wind coming in. Maybe a storm's coming in right now.
Hurricane Hillary.
Yeah, well, in Arizona, I think a primary community is Arizona, but people around the country and around the world could relate to of other topics we talk about. And I think that was thunder. Is that thunder right now,
A little thunder, yeah.
or is that the AC? I don't know.
It's the AC. That was the
Yeah, I
AC.
was scared, like, oh god, it's thunder already.
It's really windy. I mean, it's pretty cloudy. It's pretty cool looking. We don't get this much. As long as no palm trees fall in the house, we're good.
And what was it, Friday in the Santan Valley area, my hood? One of the neighborhoods got hit hard. Like, there must have been a nasty gust that went through, because there's trees that knocked over. Someone went through people's backyards, like the walls were knocked down. And it's weird because, like, the soil, like the branch, like the roots in the tree, they got, like, the tree tipped over and you can see how much roots are in the tree, and it's not that much.
So
I
the
was
new
like-
trees kind of are.
Like, the trees are huge, but then, like, the tree's knocked over and you can see how small the roots are in the soil. It's like, wow, is it the soil that's not holding the tree hard, that
It's interesting.
it wasn't able to just
Yeah.
it tipped over from pretty strong winds, but like the trees that went through like neighborhoods and like knocking down walls, like, who's at fault for that?
I mean, there's no real fault. It's an accident, of course. Mother Nature is at
nature's
fault.
accident,
But who covers it?
Yeah,
Is that who you're
that's my
asking?
question.
Yeah, I'd say like who. I've been in an HOA for a while now, and I hate them. It's necessary evil. We have them everywhere in Arizona now, so that sucks. Any new development is going to be that, unless you're a millionaire and can have 10 acres and have your own HOA, which would be you. Who's at fault? Again, they're always going to blame fault on Mother Nature, but who's going to take care of it? HOA is supposed to take care of it, but just like the government, they'll take forever and they'll nickel and dime it. It would suck if that happened to you. The only positive is if it hit your roof and you can go to your insurance and your insurance will take care of it. But if it knocks down a wall, you have to go through HOA, get them to try to fix it. But then if your HOA fees go up, right? That just recently happened to us here in Clemente Ranch. Like, our fees went up tremendous because our outer walls for the houses on the outer, their walls came down. Maybe it had been an age thing because they aged out, but they charged everyone in the community for that repair.
Actually, speaking of walls, who owns the walls?
The outer walls? I mean, the walls like mine. That's a great question. I mean, community
Because you're
walls?
sharing a wall with your neighbor, right?
It's a community wall? Like you and your neighbor own 50-50?
That's a good. Yeah, I don't know how do you take care of that. Like, if I want to knock down this wall or make it bigger, do you just do it yourself, or you have to have your neighbor's permission, or?
Well, you would hopefully talk to your neighbor and be like, hey, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
redo the wall. You would say, do you want to go 50-50? And they could say no. Like,
Or
hey,
does the HOA own the wall? Like,
Or-
I don't know this.
that's a great question. Like, who pays for that? You're right.
But anyway, so with that being said, yeah, so if the wall goes down, is it your wall? Is the HOA going to say it's your wall, or it's their wall and they'll rebuild the wall?
So definition in our HOA is if a wall goes down, they'll pay half of it and you're supposed to pay the other half.
So there's split
They
ownership in the walls.
split the cost. But since it happened to all these people in our neighborhood, HOA said that everyone in the neighborhood is splitting the cost, not just the homes. So
So either way, although the HOA will say we'll pay for it, or it's split 50-50, they're just going to raise the fees in the back end of your monthly fees
and charge us.
and still charge you. So
Yeah.
ultimately, the
HOA
quote
doesn't
unquote
pay.
homeowner,
They probably put up the cost up front, and then they're going to take it out and charge you higher HOA fees, which will never go down. So
so either way, the consumer is screwed. The homeowner is screwed. They're paying for it ultimately.
yeah, and the HOA polices the neighborhood and always sending you letters. Hey, you got weeds, and you go outside and you have one blade of grass out in the rocks, and you're like, come on. But I guess it's a necessary evil. But I mean, we have green belts and all that. It's they pay. There's always people cutting the grass and fixing, trimming the hedges and stuff. So it costs money to do that. So I get it. But
Well, if you live in a non-HOA neighborhood, it's your property taxes that covers that. People are still going to cut the grass in the parks and stuff, maintain the parks. It's just more your local city government takes care of it, not the HOA.
so then why do we have an HOA if I'm paying property tax?
Because it's the homeowners want more say in what goes on in their neighborhood versus local government.
So local government pays for non-HOA places.
In addition, I mean the property taxes in a non-HOA pays for the schools in the school in the neighborhood, and the parks and the roads, right, and the lights, right. That's why there's some new developments that they don't have lights, like in Queen Creek and Santana Valley. Like the neighborhoods don't have lights.
That sucks.
Yeah, but you have lights in your neighborhood. It's not paid by the city. It's paid by the HOA.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, if you look at the annual whatever they pay for things, it's going to say maintenance of like the grass, maintenance of the cost of electricity for the lights. So if you have a fence, that will show up. If you have water fountains, they'll show up for cost for that everyone pays into.
Interesting. So, but I wonder, even if you have an HOA, do you still get that government money for the roads, lights, and all that other stuff?
Like, what do you mean government money?
Because if you're in a non-HOA, there's lights and all that. They come in and cut the grass. In an HOA community, are you saying that the HOA has to pay for that, and then there's no government help like there is in non-HOA?
There is none.
So what's the benefit?
Typically, if you're in a non-HOA, I mean, I could be wrong if I last looked at this. If you're in a non-HOA, you pay a little bit more in property taxes, but if you're in a HOA neighborhood, your HOA fees goes to maintenance of the neighborhood that you're in.
Oh, that's
maintenance
interesting.
Of the community
It comes out of the property tax. That would be interesting. We should look at. If someone knows about that, let us know. We'll probably have to look into it because that's something that's very interesting. I'd never heard that, but I also never asked.
Because I was looking at like, okay, my dues for HOA, this is how much I pay. What's it go into? It's like maintenance of like grass, parks, the bushes there, the trees there.
Yep.
Maintenance of lights. If there's, we don't have lights, so we don't have to pay that.
You don't have any lights?
No. Queen Creek doesn't
super
either.
Dark?
The only thing that's illuminated is like the houses that have their porch lights. That's it.
Oh, that's crazy. I have a light right in front of my house, a street light, which is cool because it shines right at, if we have our cars outside, it shines right on there. So if someone tries to steal something out of your car, there's a light right on them, and our camera right on them. So that's pretty interesting. I did not know that. That's crazy. So you drive in your neighborhood at night, it's pitch black?
Pitch black, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, the only light is like the neighborhood, the porch lights are on. But my Ring is pretty good at night.
Interesting.
My Ring camera. But yeah, HOA. So that was my question. I was like, who takes care of what when something happens? But I figured HOA would be just still a pain in the butt. But
They are a pain in the butt. They're like HOA neighborhoods. They tell you have to paint your house. You probably haven't gotten that yet. We did. Like, here's a reminder. We're gonna start fining you if you don't pay for this.
Like repaint it?
Yeah, repaint the whole house.
That's
so if you don't
expensive.
have that money, it's super expensive. It's costs a lot, and it's like if you don't have the money, like there's only so much they'll give you like leeway. Like, okay, you have a week. No. I have no money. I need more than a week. They're like, figure it out. Figure it out. Just like Uncle Sam. Figure it out.
That's horrible.
No, it sucks. But
that's another thing. It's like with an HOA neighborhood, you have some say if you just go to their meetings. And
our HOA meetings, I hear they go sideways. Like a lot of people go there to argue, and then they'll shut them out.
oh yeah, every time.
Nope, we're not talking about this anymore. I'm like, wow, really?
Well, they have an agenda, and this is what the agenda is going to be on the topics. People stray away from the agenda. I was like, dude, no one's taking care of this. Well, we're not talking about it, but go ahead and put it, submit a request to have it on the next agenda, which will probably be next year, and it will probably be ignored.
Yep.
But because we want to talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah, and then when in an HOA neighborhood, they only have certain colors you can pick from. So you can't do pink and blue or whatever. Crazy thing is, if you want the same color your neighbor has, it has to be opposite.
Do you think it's true that HOA neighborhoods, the property values go up higher than non-HOA? I've heard this before. I don't know if I believe it.
But there's pros and cons to both, right? Pros is if you're in an HOA neighborhood, in ours at least, in our communities and houses around here, you can't park in the street
At night, right?
at night,
Overnight.
overnight, during the week. I don't know about weekends, but during the week you can't park, it makes sense because you got garbage and recycle picks up stuff. You can't park on your yard. Like you go to a non-HOA neighborhood, you'll see cars parked in their yard. Right? You don't see that here in any of these. It has to be in the driveway. It has to be designated driveway. Can't be on the rocks. Can't be anything else. It has to be on the driveway. So I mean, it makes it nicer. They're nicer neighborhoods, right? But non-HOA, yeah. What if you have 6 cars? You want to park it in your street? You have more freedom, right?
You have more freedom, but you could be that person who drops down the property values around your neighborhood.
Oh yeah, you could be that jerk, and you don't have to upkeep the front yard. You don't have to have a fresh painted house. You don't have to have things that are fixed to promote the face of the home, right? It could be rusted, whatever. You don't care because no one's knocking on your door saying fix it or you're fine. In an HOA neighborhood, you're like, hey, fix this or you're gonna be fined. Oh, you don't want to pay for this? We'll put a lien on your property. And you don't want to pay your HOA dues? We'll foreclose your home, which is crazy to me.
That's crazy to me. If you stop paying your HOA dues, they have the ability to foreclose on you.
That is crazy to me. I'm sure there has to be some hoops and stuff and final warnings, and you have to give us X amount or we are going to send out the sheriff type of thing. There has to be all kinds of warnings, but who knows? But I'm not the biggest fan of my HOA. But
my HOA, I mean, my neighborhood, they have the same rule that you can't park your car at night, but no one's enforcing it. So there's a lot of cars parked on the side overnight. And my only complaint is when there's like 2 cars like parked on the same side, so it creates a bottleneck when cars can't pass by each other. It's like one has to pull aside, one goes through, and then the next one goes in.
Yep.
So I hate that for going in and out of the neighborhood when trying to get on the main street to get out. That's a little annoying, but apparently it only takes one person to make that complaint, and then they start enforcing the rule. So do you want to be that person who makes that complaint?
Yeah, you also don't want to be that person that they find out is you.
Yes, you don't want to be the one that they find out it was you.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have a target on your back.
That dude Danny down the street, yeah, let's go ahead and key his car.
Yeah, can you report it anonymously?
You probably get egged, but eggs are so much now that you're not going to have to worry about that.
They've gone down in price now.
Oh, okay. So
no, but yeah, you don't want to. I mean, how petty do you have to be? And you take the risk, like you said.
You don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy.
Is it really? I mean, how bad is it really hurting you?
Not really. Overall, it's
just
annoying. It's a nuisance, but I get over it.
Yeah, you'll get over it quick. It's just annoying. People don't like. I'm a rule follower. Like, you tell me that's the rule, cool. But when I see other people not following the rules, I kind of get annoyed. I'm like, dude, come on. Well,
technically, if you have a dash cam camera and you find people driving like a-holes on the road, you can turn them in.
Yeah.
And that, I recently just drove to Surprise, so plenty of a-hole drivers out there on the freeway, especially those cutting off. We had one person caught on camera cut through 4 lanes recklessly. It didn't cause an accident, but he could have easily. Could turn him in, but do I want to be that petty?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I'm not the police though. But
we're getting there with the cameras everywhere here pretty soon. Anyways, we're gonna be like China with the social scores and stuff. You're gonna cut someone off. They're gonna send you a thing they're gonna email you. You just cut someone off, but minus $20.
But if they did that, then we'd have a lot of people with better driving habits.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Dubai, right? Like, you steal once, we're gonna cut your hand off, and everyone sees that, and they're like, "We ain't stealing anything."
I don't know if they still cut hands, but
I'm sure.
I know there's some places that have done that in Africa. Yeah. I saw like Faces of Death type videos where they did that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Like, dude, people see that in the crowd, like, what's going on? Oh, he stole someone's wallet. What are they gonna do? Whoosh, gone. Yeah, hand's gone.
Don't steal in this
and no
area.
one's gonna steal.
No one's gonna steal. I know.
No one's gonna steal. They'll eat sand before they steal.
No.
But
So-
that's the right. I hate to say that's the right thing, but look at that, societies like that thrive.
Well, I mean, I told you one of my biggest anxieties is driving in Phoenix. Is people are so reckless. I'm not saying it's like onesies or twosies I can get over quick. It's like a lot of people that it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like people do things that's like, dude, why are you risking my life and everyone else's life just so you get on a lane quicker? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand this behavior.
Well, 90% of the time, like, when that happens in the street, I kid you not, you end up pulling next to him at the light.
Oh yeah,
And it's like, dude, you just cut me off 2 miles ago for this. Like,
but
I mean,
I could turn them in.
Yeah.
You know, police might do something if they feel like it. You know, evidence, license plate. Maybe they want to meet a quota, fine them.
Yeah, I let that side slide. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Life is too short. I'm not gonna waste my time turning. What if that person had just had?
But if
might
they
have had a
continue
bad
with
day.
those bad driving habits and they
Yeah.
eventually cause an accident that could potentially kill someone,
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, would
I don't want to think of the what ifs either.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to be like, what if? Like, it doesn't. Here's the thing: it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't concern you, but it's not your
but
problem.
those people are not following the rules though.
Correct.
And if that person can get away with it, other people will see that example and they'll be like, well, if he's not following the rules, why should I? And then you have so many people just like
Yeah, but then
driving
that person gets the
recklessly.
ticket because the cop will see him cutting
Well,
people off,
the cop's busy. Now I can go drive like a jerk.
or just don't even worry about it. Just I wouldn't worry about it. Just let bygones be bygones. Because at the end of the day, you'll be better off just
You
letting
can
it
only
go.
control yourself, so just drive defensively.
Yeah.
You know, people driving like that, they're not happy. No happy
Although,
people drives like that.
If I had a cup of coffee and someone cut me off and it spilled my coffee on me, that might give me incentive to turn them in. I just got coffee on my pants, so when I walk into work, it's gonna look like I peed myself.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd rather be worried about the inconvenience of having coffee spilled on you versus like how that person risked your life because they drove like an a-hole and they could have like
Yeah.
pushed you off the road.
Yeah, you just spilled my coffee,
Your
dude.
coffee's more important than your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. The life isn't gonna like bother me, but
No, but speaking of social credit scores, I mean, we kind of have that in the United States with credit scores.
well, credit score is just it's not a social score yet. I think we're going down that route.
Well,
Personally,
I mean, credit score is your ability to pay back your
yes.
bills.
Social is just how you are as a person.
Rather, not just your bills, but your debt.
Yes. How do you handle debt? How do you
You
handle
don't, you don't improve your credit score when you pay your cell phone bill on time. But it will hurt you if you're not paying your cell phone bill and they send collections on you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But if you borrowed money and you're paying it off on time, yeah, it improves your credit
Correct.
score. So credit scores is a form. Just to see, because credibility means trust, right?
Yeah.
Are you trustworthy? That's why they have it. So are you trustworthy to handle debt?
Well, I tell people, don't ever use your debit card. Use your credit card because credit card, it's so easy. Credit card's tied to your bank account. You go to your bank app, pay it off right away if you want, or pay off just the statement balance. Is all you have to do is pay the statement balance. You don't have to pay the whole thing. It tells you on there if you pay the statement balance, which is $400, or the full balance, which is $800. There's no big difference because you pay off the $400, you still have the other $400 in the bank, and you're not getting charged interest because that didn't cycle through yet. The other 400 hasn't cycled through yet. So always pay at least your statement balance if you do not want to see interest on that card being added. And interest rates are high right now
Okay, then why have a credit card?
because that builds credit.
It
You don't get it on debit card.
stabilizes credit.
No, it builds credit.
I mean, I pay my credit card all the time. The only time my credit card my credit card won't improve. It could make it worse if I'm not paying my bills on time.
Say that statement again.
My credit card, it's not gonna improve my credit any further because I pay it off every month. But if I stop paying my bills, it's only
Wait,
gonna hurt
you're
me
paying it off completely?
every time.
That's why. You're not carrying you're not carrying because you're paying it full balance. It goes down to zero. You got to
Every
keep
time.
the new cycle. You got to keep that money in your account because that shows that you can carry the credit. There's no interest being added on that.
Right.
So people have that illusion. Oh, I'll pay it off in full, so I don't get charged. No, just pay off your statement balance. You won't get charged interest. Everything from that state balance on that you keep on your card and you keep it, say, 30%, your credit will go up. Miss that payment, you're going to see your credit go down. If you have a balance higher than 50%, it starts to hurt you. If you have it maxed out, your credit starts to hurt you.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Because I'm one who's
it's a fine line. It's such a game when it comes to that. I worked in an office where we had a credit company in our office that worked under our umbrella, that they showed me how you build credit. Like every time they're helping people buy a house to build their credit fast, this is what they did. Here's what you want to do. Get $1,000 credit line or whatever it is. Have it under 30%. Use it. Gas, groceries, everything. Always pay the statement balance. Don't pay the whole thing off. Only statement balance, so the credit companies can see that you keep using it.
not the minimum payment.
Not the minimum. The
I just want to be
statement
clear
balance.
for people listening. Whatever, because it'll show your balance, right?
You show the
Your
balance.
statement balance is what you should pay off. Your minimum payment, which you shouldn't do the minimum.
If you do the minimum, that interest gets added to the difference of the statement balance and the minimum balance. So you say your statement balance is $100, the minimum payment's $20. That interest gets added to $80 worth
Okay.
on the back end. Got it?
The big thing is trying to avoid paying interest.
Yes, you
'Cause
don't.
I personally believe paying interest, especially for credit cards, is going to keep you poor. It did
Super
for me.
poor.
It did for me in my 20s.
Oh,
I
Elvis.
had credit card debt all my 20s basically, and I paid it off. And now it's just like I just reap the rewards now.
Yeah, but here's the thing with debit too. Debit is your money. Credit is the bank's money. So if there's fraud on a credit card,
Yes.
they take care of that real quick.
Yes, I was going to mention that the fraud situation, they're
Yes.
on it like that because I've had fraud with my debit card. It takes a little long. Sometimes you have to fight them.
Oh, you have to fight. It's a pain in the butt. I learned my lesson. I'll never, ever. There's a lot of financial people that say never use your debit card, only for emergencies like ATM, take money out. Always use a credit card. It's not your money. It's the bank's money. I mean, it's yours because you could pay it off with your app.
Well, yeah, the money that's being fronted is the bank's money, and then they come to you to pay it off, right?
But if it's the bank's money that on a credit card and there's fraud, they go right away, attack it. They'll send you a warning. Did you buy this?
Yeah.
They'll send you a text. This doesn't seem like your spending habits. Is this you? You say no, they shut that card down. They go after that person. They get you your money back. Like that.
Right.
And I've had that happen with my credit card, and it's amazing.
Because I remember paying off my credit card debt. And, of course, my credit improved significantly. And then I've just been like, it just feels like, okay, I use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off, keep it at zero balance. Because I'm just racking in the rewards from it.
Right.
And I feel like my credit is only going to go as high from there. It's not going to keep going higher anymore.
Yeah. Well, how many credit cards do you have?
I have... Did it go inactive after a while for not using?
They can. Like I have.
Because I want to say I have two, but there's one credit card I'm
Yeah.
just not using at all, and it's been years, so I don't know if it's been... Because sometimes credit card companies will just deactivate it on their own, right?
I have 4 credit cards that I use that I rotate, and I always pay the balance. Never have a problem. And I have 2 of them that are interest free, like
For how
18
long?
months,
It's a
21
promotion?
months. They're
Oh, okay.
promotions that. Why wouldn't I get this? And the only reason I get them is if something were to happen, right? That I have to make a large payment, a large buy. That system is tremendous because you can make the minimum payment and not even worry about it. But if you miss one payment, interest added for the rest of the
Oh, yeah.
term. If that happens, I cancel
Well,
that card right away.
Here's the thing. I had this problem with like what was it, HSBC credit card with Best Buy. Like, they do like 12 months interest free, and I bought
Yep.
a bunch of stupid crap I shouldn't have when I was young. 0 interest for 12 months. But if you don't pay off that credit card within 12 months, then they go back that year of back interest and add it to your balance. And it really screwed me over. On top of the, instead of 0%, you're going at like, what is 20?
29. I saw
Yeah.
one the other day at 32.99. I'm like, how do you
It's-
why are you making minimum payments? Like you'll
Biggest-
never get out of this.
Because credit card debt will keep you down because you're paying so much money in
But
interest.
those cards, I mean, I'll tell you, I've had those 0% interest cards for almost I want to say like good 5, I would say a decade, but I would say a good 5 years. I've bought, if I had to buy something, a big purchase, say $2,000 or something, I've always made the minimum payment because I'd rather have cash in the bank in case another thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds up credit. My credit's never gone down, right? From that, because it's a promotion, right?
That's managing risk.
Yeah.
Because then you could have another situation where you need to add more to the credit card where it's going to prevent you from paying down the balance, and now you're going to end up paying interest.
Yeah. Well, that's what they hope is that here's your card, here's $10,000
And it
credit.
always happens.
Yeah. Well, it happens to a lot of people. It happened to me when I first got a credit card. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa. And when you get, you're in college, like $300, what? That's a lot for someone. You spend it and then you do minimum payments. 16 years later, you still owe $600. Because it doubled. But I see this all the time when I'm trying to help people with credit, and I see, okay, the original balance was $1,000. How do you owe $2,000? Oh yeah, fees, late fees, not paying this off. Oh, it's charged off. A debt consolidation has it, or another company bought the debt, and it's hilarious to me sometimes when people are like, "Well, I don't owe that anymore because you guys bought that debt for cheap." Yeah, but you still bought stuff. Like I try to. I can't go to a grocery store and say I'm buying this gallon of milk for 25 cents because I know that's how much you guys bought it for. You can't do that. It's I mean, if you went out and to say Victoria's Secrets and bought all this stuff for $300, you think you can settle for $100? Like no, you owe that $300 plus late fees and all that you signed up for and agreed to on your credit card contract. People have it ass backwards sometimes, man.
I mean, I have my credit card gives me 2% cash back for wholesale at Costco and Sam's Club, wholesale shopping. So I use that money for the rewards every time.
Costco.
Yeah, because Costco, for the executive membership to get 2% back, it's $120 a year for the membership. So I just build up the $120 pretty quickly, rather, on my credit card. And then when I get charged at $120 yearly by Costco, I'm like, all right, that rewards money goes straight to it, right into it.
Funny story. I had got the executive card, and for some reason I had our parents' address. This is a long time ago. And back then when Costco sent out the checks for the refunds.
They still do.
Is that how they do it? They do checks still?
Yeah, I just got one last month.
Okay. Well, my wife takes care of that now.
It's like a gift certificate check.
Yeah, it looks like a gift certificate. So they sent it to our parents' house, and our dad cashed it.
How much was it? Do you remember?
I was probably like $200.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, because I saw the receipt, I was like, oh, this is my rebate. Where's the rebate? And like my mom's like, yeah, your dad already cashed it. I'm like, but this is mine. It's like, this is my money. But I didn't care. But then I went to Costco and said, hey, what address do you have for me? And they're like 1303. Oh, no.
We need
Here's where I live. This is where I live now. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I got it a long time ago, and when I was still at mom and dad's. But it pays for itself. I think the executive is great.
If you know you're going to pay $3,000 a year at Costco, it's worth it, especially now with how expensive food is.
So $3,000 a year? That's what?
Dude, people go weekly to Costco, spend $300 like that.
Yeah, because that's like $265.
What is that higher math?
$265 maybe? Maybe $280? I'm saying $265 to $280.
That's all you need to pay is $58.
$58 a week?
Times 52? Yeah. You pay
What is it a month? Do 3,000 divided by 12.
3,000 divided by 12.
250. Oh, dude, easy. So easy.
That's one trip, $250. That's an easy one trip at Costco getting supplies.
It used to be $100 for us, and now it's like closer to 300. And it gets up there
I remember
fast.
that. Remember I used to take pictures of my Costco trips of like how much food I bought at Costco?
Yeah.
And be like, price is right. Guess how much I just paid for this?
Yeah. Yep.
Because food has gone up so fast.
So much. Even at
And
Costco, it's
gas went up too, by the way. Did you notice that?
I went to Costco the other day, and it was $4.39 at Costco. Right? I was like, what?
I swear to God, I was just like, 3 weeks ago, it was down to $3.69.
I thought so too.
I was like, am I delusional? Because I was just here not too long
Biden.
Ago. Yep.
He'll take the credit when it goes down, but when it goes up, it's not the president. I hate that.
Well, that's what politics do. They blame each other.
Yeah.
They're not going to own it.
I hate politics, period. Are you ready for another 4 years of Biden? It's going to be 4 years of Biden. I don't care what you say about Trump. That
You
dude
think
is loved. That dude is loved, bro.
Biden's loved?
No, did I say Biden? Trump.
God,
Trump.
I was about to say, I was like, who are you talking
Dude,
to?
Trump went to a rally, or where did he go? Somewhere in
Dude, they're
Florida.
doing everything they can to make sure he doesn't become president again.
That dude is. There's no way you can tell. Dude, Biden doesn't go into places and people scream, Biden, Biden. Where? Nowhere. You go anywhere in Florida. He goes anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to California. People screaming by Trump, right? Not just Trump. They scream USA, USA. I'm like, he's too popular.
Because he's being
He's too popular.
indicted.
He's too
I mean,
popular.
they're throwing all these charges at Trump right now.
They have
like
to.
everything.
They don't want him to run. That shows you that the Democrats are scared. They're scared. Again, I don't care who you are, if you're Democrat, Republic. I'm neither. I'm right in the middle. Me and Danny, I don't know about Danny, but me, I'm Switzerland. I just want to live my life
They're socialists.
and just, am I socialist? Is that what it is? Live my life. And you know what? Fuck it. I want all of us to be equal. Take all the millionaires' money and give it to the poor, and all of us live in 15-minute cities. I'm down for that. I don't care at this point. Give me those COVID $1,200.
No, I believe in capitalism 100% because
To a
right
point.
now,
I think capitalism is rigged.
no, because well, disclaimer, I don't think the U.S. is practicing dogs barking
There's
like
my
crazy.
dog.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yep.
Let me start over before the dog started barking. Bentley.
Yeah, Bentley.
U.S. capitalism is not the capitalism we were taught in schools what capitalism is. Come here, Bentley. Your job, Bentley. She wants attention. Should we get Bentley on the camera?
Yeah.
Look at this dog. Really
This is the enemy. This is the barker.
Bentley.
Bentley.
What do you have to say about U.S. capitalism, Bentley, since you had to interrupt us so much?
It's bad. It's bad. Biden's bad. Bad.
We're just two dudes who barely know what they're talking about in society and economics and anything. And I don't know why people listen to us, but I mean, capitalism is just you just reap the rewards of what you build. But U.S. capitalism, it's more the corporations have socialism because they're always constantly bailed out. And who bails them out? It's just the middle class and below. Middle class, working class, lower class, poor. Our tax dollars goes to bail them out all the time.
Do you consider yourself middle class?
No, not at all. I consider myself working class.
Yeah, we're paycheck to paycheck and some money to save up. And we want to put in stocks and live the American dream. I just saw something about how stocks are rigged. And
I
just like,
don't doubt that.
you don't doubt it?
I don't doubt it at all.
Dude, we're just screwed either way you look at it. Like, you know, we're doing this for fun, blah, blah, blah. And we do our 9 to 5, bust our butt, taxes take a nice little chunk.
Well, the people who are paying the most taxes are W-2 employees because that's easy to tax out. If you own a business or a corporation or whatnot, it's really just like you just state how much you made and how much, and the government will calculate how much you owe in taxes. It's not like W-2 employees; they just take your money.
Yeah,
they just take
can.
taxes.
Yeah. And then they want more at the end of the year. It's just.
But when you own a business, you could set up either like every 3 months, 6 months, or yearly to pay your taxes. You know, like, and they just say enter in information, how much revenue, how much did you have to pay for supplies and everything else about your business. You put it in. Government says this is how much you owe. And a lot of people, they lie about that too. Our
Oh,
taxes-
there's a ton. There's tons of loopholes, dude. And they
there's
you can get
loopholes
away
to
with it.
Like, yeah, I mean, our tax system's so messed up. And you know what? The reason why we have that weird tax system is, one, it's easier to pay less taxes when you're super rich. This is the whole reason. And companies like H&R Block want that system, so that's how they make their money too. So they don't lose their business. And that business is catered for really just the W-2 employee.
Yep.
Be like, hey, and help me do my taxes. This way I don't get audited. And then they go up there like, well, do you want the insurance audited? Which, you know, basically your whole entire tax return. But yeah, the whole tax system is just so messed up.
No, it's. I hate to say if it's rigged or not. Again, we don't control our world. Like these elites, whoever they are, the 1% of the 1% of the 1% is good for you. I wish I was in that group. I wish I was born in that. It's like being a king or something, like in Scotland or England.
Everyone should have been woken up about how it's all rigged with the whole stock market when GameStop was being shorted. And people were like, oh, if you're shorting it, how about everyone buys in? And then when the stock goes up, the people who are shorting it have to pay into that. And that's how the stock price was going up like crazy. And then Robinhood had just stopped it. And we're like, we'll just stop it now and deal with the repercussions later.
Yeah, how was that legal?
It wasn't.
They can stop that. That's messed up, right? If you live
You
by the
can no
sword,
longer
die by
trade
the
this.
sword. Why are you going to stop it? And all these people lost money or couldn't put money or couldn't take their money out, couldn't sell at a certain time, and then they couldn't sell until it went back down.
Yeah, because the company Robinhood was in bed with at the time, I have to look it up. I forgot who it is. They were shorting it like crazy, and they make a lot of money doing this too. They make money as soon as someone
But
buys
companies
a
go out of
stock.
business because of that.
Yeah, it's crazy because like say if you bought a stock, like say it was like $5 a share, when you hit that execution, that millisecond goes in. Someone bought that same stock for just slightly cheaper than the person who purchased it, that retail buyer, and then they short it later, or sell it for a profit, and they just do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, that retail investors are the ones that always get screwed.
Yeah, retail investors get screwed. So people who are like doing the Robinhoods and everything, you think, oh, I'm buying, doing what the American dream says, invest your money in this. And then before you know, your stock portfolio is down. It's like, why does it keep going down?
Yeah.
There's a system to make you buy these stocks at a higher price so other people can benefit from it.
It's almost like going to a casino and you put quarters in the machine, you win once. And you're like, cool, I'm going to play more and win more money. And you end up spending more money than you won. And then you start going into your own, like, oh, I need that adrenaline of winning again. And you end up leaving the casino negative, I don't know, $1,000 or whatever, right? That's the same effect with stocks. You think you're buying it at a good price. You're being told by that guy with the shaved head, the bald dude on the stock shows that says
Jim Cramer or
yeah,
whatever.
Jim Cramer. Good, this is a good buy, this is a good buy. And you're like, oh, he says it's a good buy, I'm gonna buy it. And it goes down. You're like, what the hell?
When they say retail investor, it's like just the average person
Yeah, me and you.
investing, right? Me
Yeah.
and you. But there's also a lack of education because it's a long game you are playing. Stocks go up and down. But a lot of people, when they see their money go down, they go, oh, I better take my losses and get out. Well, as soon as you sell for low, someone's buying it for low. And then the stock goes up again, and they're going to sell it high.
And then you get FOMO, fear of missing out. You rebuy the same thing you just sold for more, which is a tragedy, but it happens all the time. It happens like in this so-called, in the crypto world, it happens all the time. People, buying Bitcoin, there's bad news that comes out, then they end up, watching the price go down and down. They sell it for less than that they bought it for, and then all of a sudden these big corporations, BlackRock and, the Michael Saylors of the world, they buy it, and then it goes back up. And they miss out, and they're like, dang it, I should have never sold.
Is it me or does crypto have like this boom and bust effect? Like you're just putting in
Oh, it's
money,
right
waiting
now,
for this one rocket launch. It goes
yep.
up, and then the next day it's dropping fast like crazy.
Oh, it happens all the time.
All the time.
And it's like you get good news, and it goes up, and you're like, oh, it just went up 20%. 2 weeks later, it just gone down 50%. Crypto's just crazy. Like
Bitcoin's dropped a lot recently. Have you seen this?
Yeah, 26 grand. But you know what? I'm a believer of
Well,
Bitcoin.
the thing is, it was at 25 grand.
Yeah.
Back in June, shot up to like the 30,000, and then now it's back down to 26 grand. So there is like, it's kind of like a long-term play.
Well,
Get everyone to buy in, and then sell it high, and then it crashes down until it's low, and then rebuy it when it's low. But yeah, I don't know how we got on this subject though.
Now that we're on crypto, since I do dabble in it, I have five to six what I would invest in. This isn't investment advice whatsoever. It's just I've been researching this stuff forever, and I personally have all these in my portfolio. The blue chips, I would think, to me, there's two blue chip cryptos. Bitcoin, number one. If you get into crypto, you gotta own Bitcoin. And to be honest, I would say you should have 50% of your portfolio into Bitcoin. And if you don't know why, do your own research. You'll figure that out.
What is your research though?
Just looking into Michael Saylor, his company, I do a lot of research because in the U.S. you get influencers, you can't trust them. But I listen to a lot of like the J.P. Morgans, what they're investing in, what they put out, what they're buying into. BlackRock, what their portfolio has, and why they're buying it. Uh, Kathy Woods, of ARK Investment, when she talks, I listen what they have in their portfolio, and their number one blue chip is Bitcoin, plain and simple. Ethereum, when I hear Mark Cuban and a couple other guys from that show Shark Tank talk about Ethereum, has me thinking that's a blue chip too, right? Those are the top two that I would 100% dabble and put some money into.
I want to know when they buy and when they sell.
Well, they'll never tell you when they sell
Mm-hmm.
because if they do, other people sell and their value won't be as much. Another one, XRP slash XLM. Those two coins, those are probably 3 and 4 on my list right now.
Why is that?
They're XRP is the first cryptocurrency to not be a security.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first one that went through SEC and they said, okay, it's not a security. So that's going to open up a lot of them being able to trade and them being used by Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these companies to move big transactions. XLM, same thing. The original creator of XRP is one of the original creators of XLM.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing, but XLM's going more for the retail. Like you being able to go to like your Fry's, your stores and using XLM to transfer money really quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Visa, MasterCard, they're trying to get into the game because they want a chunk of that. Oh, you're going to be using XRP, XLM. If you use us, we go through them, but it'll cost you a penny to go through them. Right. But if all these people are doing all these transactions, that's money to them. That's a lot of money to a MasterCard or a Visa. Cardona is my 5th coin that you gotta have, in my opinion. And the 6th coin is Matic, which is Polygon. Those are the top 6 that are in my portfolio. Those are the ones I buy every paycheck. Every paycheck, I put a portion of my paycheck into those coins. And I say a portion, I allocate just a few, like 10% of my paycheck towards that. And if I lose it, I lose it. But I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've made money, every day since I've been doing that. And it's like you said, the long game. I'm not doing this for 2 years down the road. I'm doing this for 10 years down the road, right? Like I'm buying now so I can reap the rewards down the road. So again, not advice, but if you're going into crypto, obviously Bitcoin's the number one you should have. Ethereum's another one that's, one of the OGs. And everyone's talking about XRP and XLM right now, and I've known about them since 2017. I bought into both of them. I believe in both of them. Poly, which is Matic, is supposed to be just another layer, like a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. It's supposed to be like Ethereum. It's the competitor to Ethereum, and it's pennies on the dollar compared to what Ethereum is. Ethereum was like $3 when it came out a long time ago on Coinbase. Imagine buying that in 2016 when that came out. You'd have a ton of money. So a lot of people think that could be the same thing with Matic. And Cardona, I think, is another one that's going to be used big time down the road. It's starting to pick up outside, nice and windy.
I'm only invested into the stellar lumens. 2 reasons. One is cheap. And 2, I believe in its technology, especially with this partnership with MoneyGram. Of course, not investment advice. This could probably crash down. And that's kind of my luck anyway. But look into it. See how you feel about it. Just Google it. I'm not saying the sources I look at are the reason that you should believe into it. But I like the idea that like places like, say, Africa, a lot of people there have cell phones, but they don't have like a bank to access to.
They don't have bank accounts, correct. That's why Cardona's out there.
So that's why they can just have their phone and just like, you know what, I could just buy something. And be like, and it'll just transfer the monies using the
crypto
Stellar
wallet.
Lumens. Yep.
Using a crypto wallet on your cell phone with your Stellar Lumens to be able to buy stuff.
Then it's just like, just about almost everyone in the world has a cell phone.
Pretty much. I mean, don't they have like Obama phones here? Like you get a free phone if you're homeless or like
Oh, that I
low.
don't know. But even you can still get a. I mean, there's homeless people with phones all the time, though.
Yeah. And it's so easy to create a crypto wallet on your cell phone. So that's one way to look at it. But no, I'm with you. I think Stellar's a great move. 13 cents right now. You can like load up on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, but again, not advice. If it goes down, not our fault, please. Don't. We're just dudes on the internet.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like, if you think that, XRP, XLM, Cardano, Poly, you'll get greater returns right now with the way the market is if you bought that over Bitcoin and Ethereum. But at the end of the day, you should still have some Bitcoin and Ethereum in your portfolio.
Yeah, if you truly believe in cryptocurrency, and that's probably the future.
Yeah, I'll give you two people I listen to that do research. One is The Modern Investor that I listen to every morning on the way to work, and then by the time I get off work and go home, Altcoin Daily, two twin brothers from California that have tremendous information, and it's stuff that you can just research after you listen to them, and they're like, "Holy cow, they're right," and they just give you information, of what's going on in the markets. They're not influencing you to, hey, buy our product or our
And they
T-shirt.
get cut out of it, right?
No, they don't do any of that. They just want to inform the masses because they're in it. So
But yeah, I mean I don't know. We got the cryptocurrency, but hopefully it pays off because I have some good amount of money in crypto. If it launches, I'd be happy. But isn't that also the dream though, with like investing your money in like the stock market and crypto? It's just people are just trying to get rich quick.
there's a lot penny stocks if you want to get rich quick, but people want to get rich like sometime. Like they want to hit and get a 10x. You're like, oh, cool. Or even if you get 100x. If you get 100x, you're like, holy cow, I wish I put more money into this. But
There's only so many places that on 100x.
yeah,
It's not like right away 100x. It's like 10 years.
10 years. But still, if you had money put away and then if you bought Tesla a long time ago or Apple a long time ago, and the amount of money you have now, and you could be like, well, I could retire now.
Some of those companies, like the Teslas, the Nvidias, just because they're high right now, doesn't mean they won't 10x in another 10 years.
They could still 10x.
It's crazy how these companies just keep going up. When I saw Tesla, like where it was during the pandemic, how high it was, I was like, it's going to crash down. No, it just kept going up.
Well, that's the thing too. People are scared, like when they see something, oh, it's too much for the stock. I'd rather buy something I can buy 10 of or a whole stock instead of fractions of a stock. Just go with your gut. Like go with the blue chips, man. Google, which is Alphabet, Tesla, Apple. Those companies are going to keep going up. You're not buying it for quick gains. If you are, you're in the wrong market.
You're gambling at that point.
Yeah, it's hard because you can lose your butt off if you take someone else. Now, Disney, on the other hand, they might go down for a while and then you can pick it up cheap, and it's Disney. It's going to go up sometime.
It is Disney, right?
Yeah, it's Disney. They've been around too long, and they can fix whatever problems they have now easy.
Mm-hmm. No problem. I mean, with their material and whatnot, I mean, they just got to fix it up, but
Yep.
I think they'll be fine in the long run. Anything else on like the whole financial stuff?
No, not financial advice, because I'm not. Obviously, if I was, I'd be rich and could tell you, hey, I'm rich, just like all these other
I know.
influencers.
It's like why listen to us if we're not rich?
Don't
And
listen.
like why
we're
listen
not.
to us
It's
for
just what
financial
we.
advice?
It's just what we research and what we believe right now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone out there might be like, well, let me look into that, and then they might do some research and they might contact us. Hey, did you see this? Because when I talk to people about crypto, they get into it and then they'll hit me up. Hey, did you hear about this crypto? I'm like, yeah. And be very careful right now with crypto. There's so many scams and stuff. So
That's
just
the thing.
trust the people you talk to and just do your own research.
Yeah, the whole.
I'm buying to hold for 10 years. I'm not looking to make $1 million right away.
I am.
Yeah,
I wanna make
wish.
millions
That's why
right
you get a
now.
lottery ticket.
That's why. Let's continue then. Let's see. You want to talk about this here?
Yeah, we can. So I went ahead and woke up at 3 a.m. Arizona time to watch the Women's World Cup. It was a great game, to be honest. I'll be honest, it was those girls are good. It's the final, right? It's the final game, Spain versus England. It's what I predicted. As soon as U.S. got knocked out, I said it's going to be Spain and England, and I want Spain to win. They were tremendous, very talented. Both teams were talented, and it kind of like I said, I wanted Spain to win, but I was watching the game. I was like, I wouldn't mind if England won. They're playing with heart. They're playing well. And someone told me like they were mad because like the women's U.S. team wasn't singing the national anthem, this and that. I'm like, who sings the national anthem? Well, let me tell you something. Every single girl on every single team in these tournaments were singing the national anthem. England and Spain were singing their national anthem.
Maybe they don't want to get caught up with like they didn't sing their national anthem, so they don't want to be like, oh, we can't be like what the Americans are. Yeah.
But they were singing. But the thing is, they look like they're proud to play for their country. Not to say that the women's wasn't, but I don't know. I didn't get when that happened with the women's team. I didn't really get mad. I didn't care. Like,
well, I mean, think about like every time you watch a football game and they have the national anthem and they're zooming in on the players, they're looking down. They're not singing the national anthem. Some of them looking down, tearing up, or whatever, or staying focused.
Yeah, but they're not representing their country in a game.
Still singing the national anthem though.
But it's like your national anthem because you're playing against another country. I think shows a little more respect for your team.
I think
not that you don't have to. You don't have to.
I think a new standard was probably created that day. Like, hey, every time you hear the national anthem, sing it.
It might be for international. I think the NFL basketball games will probably be the same. Just put your hand on your heart, and that's enough. You don't have to sing it. But going back to the game, the goalie, Mary Epps, was awesome for England. She let just one goal go through. There was a penalty shot in that game. And I was like, oh, Spain's going to score. One of the Spain's better players took the shot, and it got blocked. It was amazing. The crowd was electric. It was awesome to see. It was, as being a father, and having a daughter, to see something like that. Like, this is like the 9th time they play, I think. So the Women's World Cup started 1987. Is that right? 9 tournaments ago times 4 every 4 years. So you're looking at 36 years ago. That would be 87, I think.
I think this is it right here.
Oh, wait.
Right here where I've highlighted. Founded in 1991, so it's been 32 years. I mean, you're close.
Yeah. Well, if there's 9, okay. Well, it is what it is. So 92, 91 is close enough. So it's 32 years ago, not 36. The U.S. has won 4 titles. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. But these chicks are athletes, man. They're athletes.
100%, yeah.
They're just athletes, and I'll give it to them. There was a lot of skill. There was a lot of skill in these games. A lot of passing. If you watch football, which soccer, and you can appreciate skill and not just kicking the ball down the field, both teams looked tremendous. Usually, I watch a game and it's sloppy, right? Like the other day, we were watching an MLS game. And I thought it was sloppy compared to what the other leagues that we watch, like the Premier League and La Liga. But this finals was tremendous. It was awesome. It was great to see. But 1-0 Spain won, and there you go. We'll wait another 4 years.
When you mention women's soccer to someone and they roll their eyes, do you think they roll their eyes because it's women's soccer or if it's just soccer?
Good question. Maybe because it's women's soccer. Like, why would you watch women's soccer? Because they're talented. It's coming up. It's like if you have a daughter, like you appreciate it.
Well, I guess it's like the same effect with WNBA, right?
WNBA still sucks. I'm sorry. I just watched another game because I said I'm a Mercury fan now. I'll watch.
Mercury sucks this year.
God, they're horrible.
They're horrible this year.
But Diana Taurasi is my favorite all-time WNBA. She's been on the Mercury forever. I think she's a great athlete. She's awesome. Very skilled. And like, what's her face? Griner's not playing. She's like something with her mental health or something.
Sure.
So I get it for what she went through. I'll tell you what. I have more of a understanding for Griner, and I have more of I give her a pass, sort of say.
Well, she learned.
Yeah, she learned, but she's human. She's human.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think about this, because I'm not 100% sure on it. That our American society and our culture, we're not the most forgiving society. When someone screws up, especially someone of like a public figure, we just want to keep kicking them down.
Yeah, we like to blame people. Like we're a
Hmm.
broken society. We like to see people get, something bad happens and we keep poking the bear saying, well, they did this, but they did 9 other good things.
Oh, right.
Like you're focusing on the one negative thing instead
Hmm.
of the positive things that they did. So I give Griner a pass. Do I like her? I don't know. I guess so. I mean, she's on the Mercury. I like the Mercury now. So
Well, I mean,
I hope she gets
because
better
of her past of like
because of her past.
disliking the U.S., saying
What?
some bad things about the U.S., and then she's in Russia, in a Russian jail, going, "This is terrible. I want to go back home to
Yep.
America." And then probably might have like a different idea of like, America is actually pretty good compared
You know
to
what?
other
America's
countries.
great because it is great. I mean, we had this conversation before. If you don't like it,
Not
you can
perfect.
leave. You
Yeah.
can leave if you don't like it. Do there need to be rules, regulations? Yes. Do there have to be harsher ones? Yes. We can't have like what's going on in California. San Francisco's a dump. I don't even want to go and take vacations there anymore for how bad it's gotten. But you see all these mobs that go into stores and steal stuff. Like there needs to be justice. We can't have a society where you think that's fine because guess what? There's going to be a group of other kids. Well, if they're doing it, nothing's happening. Nothing will happen to us, and we'll get this and we'll sell it because our government sucks and we're not making any money.
Yeah, it's definitely our culture showing that like if you see your parents going in and stealing stuff, those kids who look up to those parents are gonna think that's okay to do,
And
and
that's
they're
fine
gonna
to
mirror
do. And they're going to do it. Or going to a grocery store and stealing a bunch of food.
it.
Well, they're stealing that because they have to eat. And it's our fault as a society because we're not helping our society. We're helping Ukraine.
Right.
And I still don't know why because like I see all this stuff in Ukraine, the beaches are open, the nightlife's going on. So there's no worry then. Like, what's going on? Is there a real war going on or is it just smoke and mirrors?
Well, there's definitely a war going on, but it's just life still has to move on. But the amount of money going in to Ukraine, it's like, dude, do we need to like have all these states like Hawaii identify themselves as Ukraine to get some
Yes.
assistance?
They have to change their name, Ukraine too. To get to that's a different story. Now we're jumping ahead of what we're talking about because Hawaii we'll talk about right after. I I I wish there was checks and balances. We're sending all this money to Ukraine. Where's the receipt? As American taxpayers, we should be allowed to see that receipt.
Mm-hmm.
America is the home of the brave, the greatest country in the world, and it's a democracy. It's for everybody. And you're telling me I can't see what we're paying for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that money is being laundered.
It's come on.
Going right back to the military-industrial complex, it's like they get $1 of assistance, but we're gonna pocket 99.
It's such a lopsided number. It's such a lopsided number. Oh my gosh.
Like,
Can you imagine? Here's 100%. We get 99% back. You get 1% that goes to your pocket. So Zelensky's pocketing that 1%.
I mean, we've been in the military. We know that, like a wrench does not cost like $600.
$3,000.
It's like,
You tell me
what
a
they bought it
toilet
for
cover is
20 They
$3,000?
bought it for 20. They bought it for 25, but they're gonna pocket the remaining amount of money. Like, are you kidding me, man?
That's it's the price to keep us the safest country in the world.
We're the only people that know what military grade means.
Yeah,
Cheapest bidder.
it's the cheapest. It is cheap.
It's so funny. We see commercials called military
Military
grade.
grade.
Like,
Stay
get
away.
away from it.
Stay away. Don't buy it.
Away. Don't get it. It's bad.
Hey, honey, it
Sucks.
says military grade. Nope, don't get it. Get that expensive name brand. Don't get the other stuff.
No, but it's just weird how like the best way to make a ton of money is to get money from the government. And it's just like, okay, we're just gonna feed more to this military industrial complex. There's a war in Ukraine. They need ammunition. They're just gonna charge 30,000 times the amount for it. But it's frustrating how so much money goes to that, but we still have homeless in this country.
A big time homeless problem, and it's sad. And not just homeless, like there's veterans that fought for this country that are sleeping on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
There's people getting kicked out of their housing. We have housing issues. What like
Cost of a house, a necessity. Our shelter is going up.
So now there's families coming together to buy a house together in some areas.
I mean, that's kind of like how like San Francisco, New York, and Hawaii does it, right? Where there's like up to 3 generations in the same house, and that could spread across the U.S. if it's not contained.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Now you can jump into Hawaii now if you want. Hawaii's like Lahaina. What's going on in Lahaina is a tragedy. I got married in Lahaina. You were there when we were, hanging out in Lahaina. We went to Front Street.
Yep.
It's gone. It's gone.
I was just there with our mother not too long ago, last year.
Oh, last year. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful island. Beautiful, beautiful island. I feel for the Hawaiian people there, right? Yeah, they're considered American, but they have the Polynesian, whatever you want to call it. Their Hawaiian culture is phenomenal. It's beautiful, has rich in history, and it's disappearing. I feel that we're somehow kicking them out, right?
That's why they call Las Vegas Ninth Island. Because so many of the natives are moving there for affordability. That's it.
There's natives moving to Vegas?
It's been going on forever.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's why they call Las Vegas Ninth Island. That's why when you live in Hawaii and you see the local news, they cover Las Vegas, like the weather and stuff like that.
Well, that's crazy.
Because so many natives live there. I mean, sometimes some of them, they come to Hawaii because they still want to see their native lands, be around it, embrace it again, understand their culture, where they came from, show their kids, this is where our people are from. We have to live in Las Vegas because of affordability. We get a house here, but we can't afford it in Hawaii because it costs 10 times the amount.
Yeah, but it's so beautiful. There's nothing like if I could afford a house out there, I would.
Oh, I mean, me too. There's something about Hawaii when you go there, you feel something.
Yeah, you feel connected somehow to the land.
It's the beauty of it. Beautiful beaches, beautiful land,
Great
culture,
food. Great food.
Well, I mean, seafood. That's where I like seafood. I'm not eating seafood in Arizona. Are you kidding me?
It's such a different taste.
It hits you different.
It hits you so different. It just tastes so fresh when you're at a restaurant in Hawaii and you're eating and you look up and the beach is right there.
Okay. My goodness.
So different than here. Here you're like, how long has this been in a container?
Oh, I know.
But
I mean, we talked about like for natives, like they don't really do much for natives to stay in their lands that they came from.
No, they don't help them.
So that's why, and we have Hawaiian communities here too in Arizona as well, just for affordability. Of course, with Arizona being more expensive, they're moving farther east. That's all it is. It just comes down to affordability of getting a house.
Oh yeah.
Arizona had that reputation of like affordability. That's why we had a lot of Californians, but they keep coming here. And they keep coming here.
But now we're expensive now. It's crazy. But, man, it's just a tragedy to see the whole Lahaina is pretty much done. And I don't know how true this is, but, like, I get on Twitter. I get on, social media. Because social media, you see all these islanders talking about what's going on. And, like, how true is it? This guy's an islander. He looks like an islander, talks like an islander, and he's saying the same kind of story that the other islanders are saying. Like BlackRock, corporations, realtors are calling and trying to buy their land, which is crazy to me. We just talked about this earlier about evictions. People are getting evicted from their houses, but we found out they're renters, not real owners, right? So that happens, right? It happens everywhere. Like, a building says, you know what, you got X amount of time to leave because you're a renter. You don't have any privileges, right? And it's still sad because you probably lived there for a long time and you have to find a new house. But guess what? Everyone's looking for a house because of the fires. And what's that do for the properties that are intact on the other side of the island? How much? Think about this. How much higher is that rent going to go?
Not just that, but the people who own that property and their house burnt down, they only own the property now.
Yeah.
So now there's no more structure, so the value of the property, I guess, goes down.
It goes down, but
There's
insurance will cover some.
Well, I mean, we've been through insurance, so that's a lot for insurance.
There's a lot of insurance,
to cover.
So maybe you get corporations give you X amount saying, hey, your insurance is probably going to take forever. Your house was worth 1.6 will give you 1.2 or 1 million.
Oh no, they're gonna repraise it. Be like, oh, it's 1 million, not 1.6. I don't know where you're getting 1.6 from, but our experts here say it's 1 million.
Yeah, it's 1 million because it's all burnt down. It's. I think they're gonna come back strong, and I think it's all gonna be like luxury resorts and like. I think
Marriott's, Hilton's.
Yeah, those are the companies that are gonna make a fortune, and they're gonna make Front Street bigger, better, badder. But it's
I don't know
all
about better,
commercial.
but it's gonna be all commercial.
It's gonna be well. It's
Nothing
gonna,
local about it.
It's gonna lose the local feeling that it had when we used to go there. It's gonna be like big city type, big money grab, like big stores are gonna be there.
Louis Vuitton stores? Is that how you say it? I don't know these.
You're gonna have your big box stores and big box restaurants there. Watch, you're gonna see the Keg or commercial steakhouse, commercial sushi, commercial like the big brands are gonna be there.
Oh, they're all gonna be there. They're in Waikiki right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna spread to Maui now.
And it's gonna be in Maui for sure.
That Lahaina is like not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's like perfectly timed to make that just a big resort, right?
I mean, I'm gonna pull up this article here
But you're right. All these hotels are gonna make a fortune.
because apparently Hawaii pledges to protect Hawaii homeowners from predatory land grabs after wildfires. Not going to allow. Let's see how much they can fight this.
They're not gonna be able to win.
Because the governor has vowed again to work with government officials to prevent residents from falling prey to optimistic and potentially predatory offers to buy their land.
Here's the problem, though. Like how we talked about this. How long is the insurance gonna take to rebuild those homes? Where are these people gonna go while they're rebuilding their homes?
So let us just give you the money now. You can just go move somewhere else, get a house now.
That's what they're gonna do. Then they're gonna tell you, listen, insurance might take a year or two before they even start building the house, and that'll take a year to build the house. Your house isn't special because you have X amount of other houses at the same time being built. If it was a one-off situation, it would be taken care of relatively quick. But you're talking about hundreds of homes in the same area. Good luck. And they would purposely milk it so you'd get frustrated and sell. We've seen this before. I mean, they're going to cater it so you end up giving up and selling.
That, and there's gonna be a lot of scams out there. Like,
There's
hey,
tons of
we're
scams.
your insurance company. We have your 1.5 million settlement ready to go. Start rebuilding. We just need to get a little bit more information. We can start this going right now. You want your house built right now? We can upgrade this and that better than what you had before. And then they give them all their information. They, thank you,
Yeah.
and they're gone. So same scam callers we get on our phones all the time. But gosh, I hope those people do right. I really do. To
It's
leave
just
all
sad.
that,
It's sad.
because we know that area is prime. People want to have a
it's
house
beyond-
there.
it's beyond
People
prime.
want to have a business
beyond
there.
prime. It's beyond prime. It's beautiful. So
But I mean, right now, there's criticism that the government's only giving them $700 per household.
oh, it's so embarrassing. Again, back to the Ukraine thing. Why aren't we sounding the alarm? Why isn't the president going over there and dude, Trump would have been there. Not to blow Trump's horn. Trump would have been there.
The president did go there, but they didn't really cover it or what he was doing there. Probably like, oh, Joe Biden, here's a spot for you. I got this secured. Just kidding.
Who knows?
I mean, not Joe, Hunter. Sorry.
Yeah, Hunter.
Hunter Biden got us this spot. Don't tell anyone. But $700 per household. That household is going to go through that, especially in Hawaii. How expensive everything is in Hawaii, plus Maui. Like that's one weekend grocery bill right there, basically.
FEMA approves more than $5.6 million in assistance to 2,000 households. That's not enough.
It's not enough. I'm sure it was like an emergency, quick assistance until they get more.
That's it. Like you can send billions of dollars to Ukraine, and you can't for a country in the U.S. Taxpayers. Even these are American taxpayers. We're not taking care of them. What are the chances that state goes from blue to red if this doesn't get taken care of?
I mean, Hawaii has been a red state before. long ago. I mean, they had
Yeah.
a female.
But they see that Biden's
Republican
not
governor.
doing anything or their administration's not doing anything, and they're saying it's a slap in the
Well,
face every day
Hawaii,
that goes by.
yeah, well, believe it or not, Hawaii is conservative. They just vote blue. They're democratically conservative.
Yep.
If whatever if you believe that, because people there, their values are very conservative, but they always vote blue. So it could be the tipping point that if they're not getting help, we need someone who will. I mean, right now, there's a lot of work for the governor, and people believe in him. I was there in Hawaii when he was the lieutenant governor.
Time will tell.
So time will tell.
And it's hard. You can't please everyone. I'm sure he can't just snap his fingers, it's fixed. So you got to give him a break. He's probably going through so much crap. There's so many kids that died in that fires. Like, when's the truth? I mean, there's a media blackout. You can't go on the island. Media can't step on show with the fires and stuff. So that's a little suspect to me. But at the end of the day, there's going to be, like we just talked about it. You go on YouTube and TikToks and stuff, and it's so easy to spread fear and conspiracy theories because that stuff sells, right?
Well, yeah, even the people on the TikToks and whatnot, they want their likes and clicks and to be noticed, so they're gonna just put out something that's outrageous.
Yeah. And
Who's to say it's true?
Correct.
They're gonna embellish the story, of course.
Correct.
So they have higher viewerships and followers and whatnot off one story. That's the opportunity's there to do it.
Yep. Yeah, it's sad.
But hopefully they get the help that they need in Hawaii, because it'd be a real shame if, we're helping out Ukraine, supposedly. Who knows who's actually getting that money and getting the assistance.
Yeah.
But we can
Pelosi.
really see in Hawaii if they're actually getting the necessary
Yeah.
assistance that they deserve, because this was not the fire that they started. They wanted. It's a natural disaster, quote unquote. We'll see. Investigation shows Hawaii Electric, their stock is going down like crazy.
There's a whole conspiracy about the water system turning off too.
I think we read something that water.
The siren. How come the siren didn't go off?
I 100% believe it was incompetence.
Should not have incompetence. Like, it should be tried and
Dude,
tested.
they had the problem with the missile problem.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
I was
and
there.
they sounded the alarm when the missile problem happened.
No, it didn't.
They
They did not.
Didn't they sound an alarm once?
No, they sent mass text.
Oh, it's the mass text. They sent mass text.
I got the mass text when I was there.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's scary. You get a mass text. Oh, missile's coming. Where? Like, what should I do?
And the sirens work because they test them the first day of the month. I hear them all the time. I'm like, I hear sirens. Oh, it's the first of the month. but the sirens not going off. I completely believe it was incompetence, because their government is
It's an incompetent government.
It really is. But people, oh my gosh, like, there's a lot of corruption there, as in, like, politicians get away with a lot of things. There was a huge one about a politician who was supposed to get a DUI, totally drunk driving. But there was, like, this one little bit of question this officer didn't ask, so they just dismissed the case. I was like, F you guys. If it was me, I'd be in a cage right now.
Yeah, it's corrupt.
It was ridiculous, but yeah. We'll see what next year looks like for Lahaina, how they rebuild.
It's gonna be it's gonna be long to find out what happened and what started and all that stuff. We'll see more conspiracy theory stuff. And you know me, I love conspiracy theories.
Actually, I do too.
It just makes me laugh. I love far-fetched ones.
I love playing devil's advocate on conspiracy theories. Like, okay, why do we believe this?
The more and more I hear of this crazy stuff, the more and more I think the Earth is flat and we never went to the moon, and there's ice people.
Are you
on the
starting
other
to believe the Earth is flat?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's round, but I'm starting to believe that some of the space stuff that they show astronauts that might not be real, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I feel like I'm in the Truman Show
Because
sometimes.
it's not only Americans in the International Space Station. Keep that in mind.
Oh, so they could be faking it.
Well, Russians could be faking it too. Chinese could be faking
Yeah,
it. That the Earth is round.
That's what I think. That the Earth is round?
Well, that they're faking that the Earth is round. Because the U.S. is not the only people up in outer space right now.
Yeah.
There's Chinese astronauts. There's Russian astronauts. They send back same photos.
I think
Same
it's
video.
round. Don't you think it's round? Or
I know it's round.
okay.
It's not what I think or gonna question it.
I don't know if it's round. I think it's round.
You could just do a little bit of math and understanding physics, and you'll know that it is round. It's so massive, it looks like it's flat because it's so
Well, of
The
course,
horizon's so big.
there's no way, even in a plane, that you could think that you could see curvature. Like, you'd be stupid. Like, the world is too big.
You can see, well, from a plane, because the elevation of a plane goes up to 50,000 feet, I believe,
Yeah.
above ground. So you can start seeing a curvature, but it's kind of hard. I mean, I see it all the time. I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's a little curvature. But you have to be really higher up to really see the curvature.
Someone told me, I talked to someone about conspiracy theories about the world being flat and saying that we live in a dome.
Jimmy Oroma?
No, someone else. And they're like, explain rainbows. Because I was like, we don't live in a dome. He goes, explain rainbows. Rainbow is the shape it is because it's going around the dome. I'm like, what?
What?
What? Had me thinking, though. It did have me thinking. The way his argument was very plausible. And I was like, huh, you might be right. That is crazy. But again, I think I'm in the Truman Show sometimes. I think there's just so much craziness. Like like the Mandela effect. You ever heard about that?
What's Mandela effect again? Mandela sounds familiar.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later about how things that we grew up thinking that what they weren't. Like, Luke, I am your father. Like, he never said that. Like Berenstein Bears versus Berenstein Bears. There's the Monopoly Man never had a monocle. There's all these things in Mandela Effect. It's pretty cool to look into. But it's just stuff like that. Like, I don't know. We live in a very, very just insane how things happen. Like, I don't know. I don't think for 1 second the Earth is flat, but I'll entertain it.
Oh, you'll entertain it?
Yeah, just give me your argument. Let's talk about it. Why not?
Okay.
And if you want to tell me we live in a
Well,
dome,
the thing is, if
why
you
not?
have someone who's a specialist in that field, would you believe them?
That the Earth is flat?
That the Earth is round?
Well, it's the same thing as someone that is a specialist in the world is flat. Like, why? Okay, I believe the guy that says the world is round because of why?
Well, he proves the mathematics behind it.
Maybe.
There's a good one that Stephen Hawking shows of like how, who was it, the ancient Egyptians,
Yeah.
of how they did the structures, because they knew how.
They didn't do
planet
the
was-
structures, dude. They did not do the dude. I'm like the Sphinx dates back before the Egyptians. Who built the Sphinx? It's a line with a
how
human
they
head.
built the pyramids.
Well, the pyramids the Sphinx is older than the pyramids.
What they built that was
So the pyramids, like, how the hell did they have that technology to build the pyramids? Is
block by block.
not just that, like, how did they get it up?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, it's like your buddy Andrew Schultz said. Everyone always says aliens, built the pyramids, but in Mexico, they know the Mexicans built those ones. Like, that's a funny one that he says. Another thing on Andrew Schultz, I want to share with you. He just got in on a podcast and just ripped those guys. That's why we'll never have Andrew Schultz on this show.
Why?
I love Andrew Schultz, but if you he can smell bullshit. Like, the dude, I love Andrew. I love you. I started watching you on YouTube, Facebook.
Oh, you started watching Flagrant?
I have
Who?
been for a long time, but I didn't know who you were talking about when you try to explain who he was. Because he makes that joke about the pyramids. Like, no one questions who made the pyramids in Mexico. It's Mexicans, and
Mexicans,
he's
I know,
hilarious.
right? That's
He's
hilarious.
hilarious. I think he's a great. When we were talking about our favorite comedians, he's up there in my top 3, maybe. Like, he's just funny to watch, and his podcast is pretty good. But he went on a podcast and ripped these guys a new a-hole.
What was it about?
The
What was
Milk
topic?
Boys it was Andrew Schultz and the Milk MELK Boys, and I was dying. He just tore him a new butthole. It was hilarious. But no, Schultz is funny, man. He's great, but he can smell BS. He was saying, and he was just like, I don't want to say mean. He's just being honest.
Andrew Schultz. I don't know. I just got lost in my mind.
Yeah, you do that quite a bit. No, it's because you're looking up stuff on here. And Andrew Schultz funny. There's a lot of who Theo is.
Theo Von?
Yeah, there's a lot of hate on Theo Von recently.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just saw a thing. I like Theo. I think he's cool, man. I think he's funny. he's like that guy you have drinks with, right? Like he seems like a cool guy. And I just saw that there's all kinds of hate on Twitter on him, saying that he's a dick and he's a jerk and he's not funny. I'm like, well, it's relative, right? Like, what do you think funny is, right? I think he's funny. I watch his podcast stuff, and when he pops up on shorts, I'll watch Theo Vaughn. He's hilarious. But a lot of people, they'll Storm. Look at the storm outside. It's getting nice.
Nice. Oh, not Stephen Hawkins, Carl Sagan. That's who I was trying to figure out. I show you this of like the ancient. Oh, it wasn't the Egyptians. It was Greek. Gosh, I have my.
Oh, the Greeks were smart as smart can be. So they figured out it was round.
Let me see if I can pull up this video.
A map
Nope. Let's play it here.
of ancient Egypt. I've inserted 2 sticks or obelisks, one up here in Alexandria and one down here in Syene.
Alexandria's in Egypt.
Now, if at a certain moment each stick casts no shadow at all, that's perfectly easy to understand, provided the Earth is flat. If the shadow at Syene is at a certain length, and the shadow at Alexandria is the same length, that also makes sense on a flat Earth. But how could it be, Eratosthenes asked, that at the same instant there was no shadow at Syene and a very substantial shadow at Alexandria? The only answer was that the surface of the Earth is curved. Not only that, but the greater the curvature, the bigger the difference in the lengths of the shadows. The sun is so far away that its rays are parallel when they reach the Earth. Sticks at different angles to the sun's rays will cast shadows at different lengths. For the observed difference in these shadow lengths, the distance between Alexandria and Syene had to be about 7 degrees along the surface of the Earth. By that I mean, if you imagine these sticks extending all the way down to the center of the Earth, they would there intersect at an angle of about 7 degrees. Well, 7 degrees is something like a 50th of the full circumference of the Earth, 360 degrees. Eratosthenes knew the distance between Alexandria and Syene. He knew it was 800 kilometers. Why? Because he hired a man to pace out the entire distance so that he could perform the calculation I'm talking about. Now, 800 kilometers times 50 is 40,000 kilometers. So that must be the circumference of the Earth. That's how far it is to go once around the Earth. That's the right answer. Eratosthenes' only tools were sticks, eyes, feet, and brains, plus a zest for experiment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, even 2,000 years ago, people using just the brain and calculations of mathematics that the Earth is round, and that you can tell that why would there be the shadows if it was a flat Earth, that the shadows would be the exact same, but if they're in 2 different locations, the shadows would be different. And using that calculation, got the circumference of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
But this is knowledge from 2,000 years, though. People today still believe that the Earth is flat. It's like, there's a point. It's like, why even to try to entertain these people? Like, they're probably so set in their ways that they don't want to believe that the Earth is round and that it's flat. So why?
They just want
You made your attempt.
Yeah.
They don't want to believe. Just stop. Just move on.
Yeah, that's pretty much where you're at.
It's just like saying, as much as I want to believe the Arizona Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl this year, there's nothing you can do to change my mind. Everyone knows, like, you're an idiot. It's not going to happen this year.
You are an idiot. They're not. They're going to have 3 wins. We already said that.
I know, 3 wins.
We said 5 possible games that they could win. So we'll go 50-50 on that. 2.5. We'll round up to 3.
Right.
They lost to the Chiefs yesterday. They suck. Anyways.
It was preseason, whatever.
Wow. Well, people were all ecstatic when they won last week. And I told you, don't look in the preseason. It's also Kansas City, dude. They're not ever going to win. Let's see. What else we got?
All right, let's go with this story. So, a brand, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch Air, offers to buy back the Budweiser brand because what company owns it? It's the current parent company, Anheuser-Busch InBev. If they're looking to sell the company, that the family would try to buy it back and try to bring it back again. I mean, what do you do with that brand?
Well, it's a Brazilian company, right? That owns Bud Light.
I think South Africa. I could be wrong. But
Um,
yeah, it's not American for the most part.
let's see. 'Cause InBev doesn't understand their core drinker. It's a Brazilian-based company that really doesn't live here in America. So yes, the heirs, Billy Bush is pissed. He has no say when they do commercials and this and that. They're with the horses and stuff. They're pro-American, and they sold the company because they made a ton of money. Well, it's still their brand, right? It's their dad's, grandpa, great grandpa. It's their legacy. They hate seeing it being dragged in the mud, and they're like, "Hey, let us buy it back so we can bring it back." That's when Budweiser will come back. When you give it back to an American, and it becomes an American beer again.
I mean, how do you restore that company? Because the blowback that it's been going through, it really stuck.
Yeah, but you can change that. New ownership, and you say, "Hey, they can easily, if they need to hire me to be their marketing, plain and simple, the original owners are buying it back."
If you were their vice president of marketing, what would you do different?
First of all, I'd bring back, not chicks in bikinis, but maybe some flannels, cut off flannels, like they do at Twin Peaks. You cater to your audience, the race car drivers, the beer drinking football players, college kids. You bring it back to its roots, pro American drink. This new company out of Brazil, they got woke. They thought there was a woke movement. They saw that there's money to be made in woke, and they thought, "Hey, let's do this."
Who really thought there was money to be made in woke?
Well, that's the only reason you would do it. Is because you think there's a woke movement. Let's capitalize.
You hear that a lot of noise coming from woke communities, but it doesn't mean that they're going to shell out the money to support whatever programs there are for woke ideology.
Here's the issue. Let's be honest. These woke, we'll call them people, they're not drinking Bud Light. That's not your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you cater to an audience that doesn't even buy your product?
Yeah.
You just spit on your other audience, and Bush knows that. So they want to buy it back and restore it back to its glory. Can they? Yeah, why not? Even if they buy it for pennies on the dollar, why wouldn't you take that chance? It's pride in the company, and they can come back. Yeah. If one thing I learned too is everyone in America loves a comeback story.
Yeah.
This would be a comeback story, and it's an original.
Now, if you make a comeback story, would you just kick down woke ideology?
No, you don't have to kick it down. You just don't have it in there. That's not your audience.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying your product.
I mean, do you have to make anyone mention of woke?
No.
We're not following through this.
No, you don't have to. They don't buy that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to. You just come
because
back.
Right now they're making commercials it's American Pride thing with the horses, but they're making no mention that this was a bad move making a woke attempt.
No, I just say Bush is back, and we're bringing back what our founding fathers and what our ideology was before it was sold, and we bought it back for those reasons. Mm-hmm. This isn't a money grab. This is a lineage thing. This is American. This is an American beer.
You're already rich. Now it's just sustaining the lineage.
It's pride. And I 100% give it to them, and that's something maybe I would do too if I had a ton of money and I was like, they're destroying what my great grandparents built. Let's restore it, and it's all pride and name, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just want it to go back to American values. I applaud them. I think it's awesome. Go do it.
Buy it. That'd be good.
Real quick, there's a picture circulating on the internet. Remember when Kid Rock shot all those Bud Lights?
Yes.
There's a picture circulating of Kid Rock and a suite drinking a Bud Light.
Is this a recent photo, though?
Recent photo. I think it's a recent photo. It was on Twitter, but could be an old one. But I thought I was like, oh, there it is, right there. There it is. See, you found it. It's the first thing on there. It's right on TMZ.
This is a recent story. Kid Rock enjoys a Bud Light. Wait, what? Was this a recent photo, though?
Oh, it looks recent. What if, okay, where was this at? Is the case Thursday night in Nashville.
Where did it say Thursday night in Nashville? Right here? Okay.
Colt Ford show a few months ago.
No, he said, that's right. The same guy who
Oh, I see what it says.
exclaimed F Bud Light and F Anheuser-Busch a few years ago was at Sky Deck in Nashville Thursday night.
Drinking Bud Light.
Taking in Colt Ford's show. So it is a recent photo.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe that's all they had.
Maybe that's all they had, right? That's a possibility. And like, damn, I really want a beer, but it's Bud Light.
Oh, if the Bush family hires Kid Rock to be their spokesperson,
Be a good move.
it'd be a great move. It'd be a great move, and it's easy collab because it's not like they're saying sorry. It's like, hey, I'm taking the brand back. I want you to be the face of the brand again.
Yeah. Be like, we need to restore this beer.
We need to restore American
Make it
beer.
into a great American beer again.
Yep, that's how you do it. Hire Kid Rock, and he would probably do it because it's not the original people; it's the original family buying it back to do that.
Well, people do it because it's Kid Rock, too. They
Yeah.
want to be associated with Kid Rock. Kid Rock's an amazing performer.
Yeah.
Other than that, anything else on Bud Light?
Nope. I'm good.
All right, I'll just lead on this one. Student loans. Students are going to be paying, former students rather, are going to be paying back their debts here coming in October.
Oh, they haven't been paying?
No, because it's forbearance since the pandemic. This is during the Trump administration,
Oh, wow.
and now they're being told to pay it back because this whole time they had the carrot dangled in front of them that, hey, Biden's going to forgive 20,000 or up to 20,000 rather. Did not go through. But this whole thing with like student loans, they're not solving the problem. They're just putting a band-aid over the symptom. Like, get to the root problem. College is wildly expensive.
Too expensive.
Unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah, it's becoming more of a
If
show.
you forget 20,000 now, you're just going to end up forgiving another 20,000 years down the road. And what is it? The next political campaign's going to, next political politician, oxymoron me, next politician's going to be like, oh, I'm going to forgive 30,000. And it's another 6 years later, the next politician's going to be like, I'm going to forgive 60,000. But they're not solving the problem of college is too expensive. And something needs to be done about it because students can just borrow as much money. It's backed by the government, 100%. Let's just fix the problem with that. College should not be so freaking expensive. If forgiving 20,000, that should be done after they fix the problem. Sure, I'd probably agree with that. But right now, you can't just pay off 20,000 and the problem's going to come back again. Do it so the problem doesn't come back anymore. I'm sure you're going to want your kids to go to college, but I'm sure you don't want them to be saddled up in like immense amount of debt that they can't really progress in life.
No, because you're going to be think about student loans right now. Like people that have student loans that are in their 30s that are still paying it.
Yeah, there's some in their 60s. They're docking their Social Security for it.
Oh my God. See, there's an issue. There's a problem.
It wasn't like how it was for like our relatives, our aunts. You know, they went to college. It wasn't that expensive. Yeah, they got some student loans, but it was like a few thousand. And that's all they needed to pay off their student loans. Now it's like 5 digits of student loans plus maybe 6 digits just to get whatever degree you need.
Yep.
And then there's always the back push of like, oh, you shouldn't have studied gender studies or something. Like, I get it. I understand that. That's on them. But I'm talking about people who like actually get into a legit field, like engineering, nurses, just like stuff that we really need in society. They pay pretty well, but it's not good enough to pay the loans anymore.
Correct. Because of housing and everything else that went up to on them. I can see forgiving things that you need in society, like doctors and nurses, because you're actually in a field that you went to school for. So people and this is a lot of people that went to school for something and they're not in that field.
Oh, 100%.
You took a chance and, your field's not getting repaid, And a lot of times people get student loans, it's for housing. I need for housing, so I need to get student loans to pay for my housing so I can do my schoolwork and study and this and that. There's no fine line because student housing is so expensive.
Housing is a big part of it. That's true.
And it's so easy to lend. Oh, you're a college student? Okay, we'll lend it to you. Here you go.
Yeah, but they won't lend you the same amount to start a business.
Yeah. Not just that. And if you have to get a cosigner like a parent, that's horrible. Then they go after the parents. And it's just like, that's a hard pill to swallow as a parent. Oh, you need $100,000 student loan? Okay. I'm going to be on the hook for that. There's a good chance you're not going to be able to pay this payment.
Most loans have a cosigner of their parents.
Yeah. So it's like...
It's tough, like, as a parent who probably didn't go to college and they're happy to see their kid to go to college and succeed. And, and they're probably pushing their kid to go to college. Just like, all means, get the college education, you'll have a better job. But now that job, the pay didn't go up, but everything else in life went up. The cost to go to college went up a lot. Housing went up a lot.
The interest on these loans are a lot.
The interest keeps piling on, and then it's just like, I just made my son or daughter get stuck.
Well, it's a business. College is a business. Think about it. They have X amount of kids that go, scholarships, but they still need kids to attend that they're going to charge. So who's to say that you really didn't deserve to go to this school, but because they need numbers, they're going to let you come in, right? And you'll be paying out of your wazoo because the first thing they'll do is, oh, you need a student loan? Here you go. Have mom and dad sign for this. And
for what you get for a college degree, your earning potential is going to be better with a college degree versus a high school diploma. But now we're at the point where the threshold of the immense amount of debt you will incur is much more significant compared to what
a trade school
will be.
You go to trade school and you're done in a year.
Well, it's weird how things circle back around. Everyone's saying go to college, get the degree, you'll have a better job. Yeah, they get the job, but now everything else costs so much more. But now trade school is looking more attractive now because it's not as expensive, and people need,
electricians and plumbers and all that, and they make a ton of money.
Right now, they're making a lot of money because they can.
Yeah.
There's a high demand for those skills right now.
Correct.
Because a lot of those college students, half of them are taking a skill that's not in demand, but there's some that's like it's in demand, pays decent.
Yeah.
But you're paying so much of your paycheck into that debt, though.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be paying that debt for 10 plus years, so they really can't go up in society, like get the better house, get a car, whatever. They're always straddled in debt, and they can't save money either, too, to invest it.
Yeah.
Start a business. But trade is looking good. If you really want to get ahead, being a welder is looking really good right now.
A welder, you can make so much money in welding. So much money in welding. I have a buddy their son went to a welding school, got out pretty quick, making $70,000 right away. 19 years old.
And how much loans does he have?
None.
Yeah.
$70,000.
$70,000 is really good to start.
At 19? And he's only going to go up from there. That's crazy. I have friends that work at Intel, that weld at Intel, making 130, 140.
Yeah, but there's the college kids who get out of school making $70,000 right away, but their debt
is astronomical.
Yeah, their monthly payment to pay off the debt is making it very difficult to move up. While the person who doesn't have debt, they're moving up fast.
Yeah, and they're making good money right off the bat.
They're able to buy a car without having to borrow money, so they don't have to pay the interest on that. They're able to do a lot of things.
Well, if you have good credit, you can buy a car cheap, interest-wise, if you have good credit. I've recently seen Toyota offer 1.9 with good credit. I was like, holy cow, that's great. That's nothing. Like I said, I remember getting my Honda a couple of years ago at 0.9% interest. That's amazing.
Interest is still interest, though. You're paying more for what you originally bought.
Yeah, but at 0.9, that's nothing. That's money in the bank you can use for other things, right? That you can put in high yield, whatever, 5%, make 5% on it, or you can put it into stocks or other stuff, or have that money put away for a rainy day. If it's 0.9, even 1.9, I'm taking it all day. That's cheap to borrow money, especially on a car that costs 50 grand now, because cars are not cheap. They're expensive.
Cars are very expensive.
They're super expensive. Like the average car is like 45, and that's like not upgraded. Like, dude, so you're spending.
It's all base model.
But that's after taxes, insurance, all that stuff that they add. You're spending 50 grand.
Oh yeah.
Easy. At 0.09, you're probably, that might be maybe $1,000 more
Isn't that crazy?
at the end of the day.
Didn't we read something that like most Americans don't even have $500 for an emergency?
Yeah.
Yet they have to come up with some way to get a car for $50,000.
Yeah.
Well, that's brand new, obviously, but
Yeah. That's like $1,000 car payment. That's crazy. I thought 300 was a lot when I used to have a car payment. I could not imagine having $1,000.
Right.
Could not imagine $1,000.
I'm doing everything I can to not have a car payment ever again. I'd rather not deal with the monthly payment and have that worry anymore.
Yeah, it's a depreciating asset. That's why. There's nothing great about having a brand new car. I mean, it's cool, but think about if you have to make payments. If you can afford it, awesome. More power to you. But if you're struggling and then you have to buy a car, I feel bad.
I mean, I look around driving, and I see all these nice cars, especially trucks. People here in Arizona love the truck. But how many of those cars are paid off?
Dude, none. There's 70 grand for a truck now.
Yeah.
Like a Ford, a loaded Ford base model. When I say base model, I'm talking like nothing too great. Maybe a V6, but with leather and 4x4. You're looking at like 60 grand.
I feel like most of those people who buy those trucks don't use it for what a truck is meant to be used for.
No.
They're not hauling anything, and they're not like using it for work, like using it on a road, dirt road or anything. All these trucks are like pristine, clean.
Yeah.
Like they just get it because they just want to feel good in a truck. Like it's a manly thing.
Sometimes, I think dudes like they want trucks.
Oh yeah.
I'm good with a Tacoma.
And trucks,
Super reliable.
don't get me wrong, trucks give you like a good feeling when you're driving it. It gives you like this weird heightened sense, like you can do more.
And you're off the ground pretty high, as opposed to a car. You're lower. It feels like a race car. Depending on what kind of car, right?
And you have the heightened sense, like you can do more like through the snow, through weather and stuff, compared to a car.
And you can, in a truck, you can hit a curb, no big deal. In a car, you could ruin the front end of your car. When you're coming up to a curb and you feel the curb, doesn't matter. It's rubber hitting the curb. In a car, it's your front dash hitting the curb, and it sucks. But I love trucks, Jeeps. Just you can run things over, and no big deal. A car, say you run something over, it can hit the bottom of your car, and ruin something. So I'm a big truck guy.
No, I love trucks too. Don't get me wrong, but I like using it for its actual purpose.
Yes,
especially when I just moved recently. I was like, damn, a truck is
truck would have been great. But that's the negative thing about owning a truck. When I had my truck, everyone and their mother wanted to borrow it. Hey, can you help me move? No, dude, I want to help you move. Can I borrow your truck? No, I don't like people driving my car. So I don't borrow other people's cars. Like, because if something happens, you don't want to, hey, can I borrow your car? Yeah. Like, dude, what happened here? I didn't have this scratch before. Like, you can't prove that you did it or he did it, right?
That's true. Right?
So I've had that issue before. Like, lent someone my car and then get it back. I'm like, did you hit something? Look at the bumper. Like, there's some other cars, paint. Oh, no, it was like that before. I'm like, come on, dude. I know my car.
You ever met people who have that expensive truck and they feel good about it, but they're always worried about being able to afford to fill up the gas tank?
Yeah, and they don't drive it because they can't afford the gas, and they drive their wife's Civic. Yeah.
It shouldn't be a daily commute, but at the same time, it's like, you know what you're getting into, or you should know what you're getting into.
Yeah, when gas goes up, you don't see them driving their nice cars because they're like, I don't want it. It's like trucks get 15 miles to the gallon. I can get 40 on my wife's Accord.
Oh yeah, like you usually put $100 in each week.
Yeah,
just for gas.
Well, my Sierra was like a gas.
And they didn't haul anything that month.
Exactly.
Or they didn't drive on dirt roads that month
haul,
or anything.
It takes more. Yeah. It takes more gas.
No, but it's just funny how there's so many truck drivers who
Have
never hauled
pristine,
anything.
like super nice trucks, like nice rims and great paint jobs, and they don't four wheel.
They don't
You know.
four wheel. That's hilarious because like I'll get a truck when I know I'm gonna be touching dirt a lot or hauling a lot.
Well, I like to have four wheel in the snow because
Mhm.
it gets dicey up in like Show Low and stuff.
Hmm.
Flagstaff, not so bad because it's bigger city and the city comes out and they plow the roads. But if you go somewhere like Show Low or Alpine or Strawberry, where they only plow the main freeway and then the inner neighborhoods are like they're pretty rough.
Hmm.
Like you can get stuck easy.
Yeah.
So
You ever been like driving on snow and then you hit the brakes and you're still sliding?
oh yeah, all the time. I did that last time I was in Heber. I thought I was gonna hit Circle K. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And you can't do anything about it. You go, you slide, and then you start sliding backwards, and you're like, holy
Oh
cow.
no!
It was like, but we stopped. It was good. That's why it's good to have a truck when that happens. You start sliding as a car.
Well, you
you're
need the
hit
tires too. You need the
Yeah.
proper tires.
Yeah. So, what else you got?
I've only got a few more minutes. Anything else that's been going on?
No, not
I mean, if
really.
we're talking about trucks, we can talk about the Ford F50
Yeah, go ahead. It's your story.
Lightning. I mean, this Ford just only came out with the F-150 Lightning. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect when it comes out.
I don't see many on the road.
I've seen them on the road, but not many. Right?
Not many.
I mean, it did just come out. So
Yeah.
you have to give it that.
When Tesla came
it's a
out,
brand-
everyone had Teslas.
Yeah, there wasn't that many Teslas when they first came out. It's also a brand new product, but I don't want to be the first to get it because I know there's going to be problems.
No, they have problems. I've heard a
There's
couple issues.
still a lot of problems, but of course, they are still the priority customers every time they call and make a complaint because they really need this product to succeed. And then they'll have another model that does better range, better towing. Because towing apparently sucks right now with it, like not that much range, and they don't disclose it. I guess I mean, besides most truck drivers are not towing anything,
Yeah.
so they're probably getting the basic 200 to 300 mile range, but they're not towing anything or hauling anything. But it's still a new product though. There's going to be a lot of problems. I've seen YouTube videos of owners saying that they've had all these problems. They call them. Yeah, the customer service they're very attentive. They try to solve it as fast as possible, but they're still it's just not there. But they'll innovate for sure. They'll fix these soon. I just don't want to be the first customers who have to deal with it. I'll wait for the next version to come out when it's better and much more efficient.
I don't trust electric cars yet.
Why not? Not even Tesla. Tesla's pretty good.
Tesla's awesome. I would love to have a Tesla, but I still don't trust them. I just don't know. What happens to that battery when it's done, when it's dead?
Well, it costs a lot to replace it. That's why I was telling you, you buy it brand new. But if you get an EV vehicle, brand new, because that first 100,000 is like warranty. After that, you're on your own, right? And reason why I say buy it new is because whenever something fails, it's expensive.
Super expensive.
I think the brand new battery for a Tesla is like 15, 20 grand,
Yeah, I saw 20 to 30 grand.
something like that.
And that's stupid crazy.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's almost like buying a new one.
Yeah, you're pretty much buying a
So
new
when
one.
you do buy a new one and they got to get rid of the battery, where does that battery go?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one car. Think of all the other car
I
batteries.
mean, I guess you trade in that car for a new Tesla and they do something with the battery, refurbish it, whatever.
I hope so.
Improve it.
Not just throw in the landfill.
Yeah.
At that point, just throw in a rocket ship and throw it in the air. Oh, you can't because the world has a dome. But anyways, so many conspiracy theories. I can never get enough conspiracy theories.
I'll get back on electric cars though. But Tesla,
I would
yeah.
love Tesla. I would love it. I would take a Model 3. They're cool looking.
Mhm.
I would take the Ford Mustang.
But they're not. You take the Ford Mustang
I
electric
like
car?
it. Something about that Ford Mustang I kind of dig. They're quick
I mean,
as
people
hell.
don't like. Yeah, I didn't hear too much complaints about that car when it first launched compared to the Lightning, right?
Well,
Because the Lightning's a truck and you use
Yeah.
it for truck purposes. But the Ford, yes, quick.
Mm-hmm.
Electric vehicles are quick. A lot of people don't like the body style. It's 4-door. It's not sporty
yeah,
like a
it's not
natural.
sporty like the what they thought.
And they're throwing on the
Yeah.
Mustang label on it. It's like, dude, this isn't more
This
of a
isn't
small
a Mustang. It's
SUV.
more a little SUV. Correct. Should have
Mm-hmm.
been something different. There's flaws with the F-150. Obviously, if you use it for what a truck's intended to do, you're going to lose charge. You're not going to get 300 miles. You'll probably get 200 or 150. And the charges takes forever to charge up your truck. They got to figure out a way to be able to charge it like you were at a gas station, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're charging it at your house, so you just plug it in, you're just doing a thing.
But if you're not at home,
we were not at home, and you have to find a charge station, which there's only so many. Of course, Tesla and Ford has a deal that they could use the same charge stations, so that helps out. I mean, everyone should have the
should be
same
sharing.
plug-in. I mean, they'll have it at the mall or grocery store, so you just charge it as you go about. I figured the new gas stations was going to be parking lots, every parking lot, because you have to go to the parking lot, get your groceries or whatever. You just connect your electric vehicle and go about your day.
Yeah.
Get your groceries, come back. It's fairly charged.
Fairly. So when you charge your car, do you have to pay for that?
Pretty sure you do,
Yeah, you're paying for electricity.
unless there's some places offer free charging.
Interesting.
I mean, they'll just jack up the prices of their goods to make back that money.
That would suck. That means
You know?
gas owners are paying for that.
Mhm.
It kind of sucks. Something about gas cars I still like.
Well, they've been innovative for 100 plus years,
Yeah.
so
Hey,
they're reliable.
have you seen the Tesla Plaid?
Tesla Plaid.
It's their fastest. It's their fastest Tesla. It's the regular S model, but they have a Plaid edition. Makes it a lot faster. It's like 150 grand, maybe 200. I don't know. It's an expensive Tesla, but it's a supercar. You know how you get a Lamborghini because it's a supercar and goes fast? The Tesla Plaid, it's like 100 grand for a used one, but you want a new one. Those things are so quick. It's the fastest electric car out there. It's essentially a supercar. It's gorgeous looking. And the steering wheel.
Oh, I like that. 1.99 seconds from 0 to 60. Oh my goodness. They really need to get that
Look at the horsepower.
1,000 horsepower peak.
That's a supercar.
Yeah.
Top speed 200 miles. You can get almost 400 miles to charge her.
I like how they have like
Netflix inside.
video games and stuff. Like you can't watch it while you're driving.
It's an entertainment system now.
You're gonna park your car and watch it. I'm not gonna watch movies in my car.
They have ways you can watch it while you're driving.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
There's people that can. There's like some way to get around it.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
totally
battery.
illegal. Yeah, the whole battery. It's a huge thing.
The bottom. That's
More
a beautiful
aerodynamic.
car. Yeah, that's a beautiful car. It's super fast.
Order one right now. Why not?
Dude, okay, that's the S regular. You want the Plaids? 108. That's not bad. It's a
kidding me?
supercar though. That's why you buy a Lamborghini. That's why you buy a Ferrari, because it's super quick. This is a third of the price. Brand new.
I'm just trying to find other specs about this. Like, I don't care, but of course they're gonna have all these enhanced autopilot for another 6,000.
Yeah.
Christ. Oh my God, full self-driving capability.
No, thank you.
Add another
No,
15,000.
thank you. I'll drive it myself.
Holy crap! Then you have to get the charging. So you get the wall connector, which charges faster, or you get a mobile connector, which charges slower, but it's
You'll
mobile.
probably end up needing both anyway. So you're gonna buy that.
So you're gonna spend so much money. I want to know the warranty. That's just starting, so you can get nothing in there. Oh my gosh.
It's a beautiful car. See, that I would get in a heartbeat.
Let's just add this stuff. Why not? I'm not even go with rims or anything. Just stuff that's kind of necessary. Did I click that? Yes, I did. Fully driving. Okay.
125. Still not bad.
120. Due today.
Look, you could
$1,000.
lease one.
You know, a lot of people will lease them just to say they have a Tesla, right?
I would, because what if the battery dies? You don't want to keep it. Oh, that payment. No thanks.
$1,800 a month.
I can't
I mean, you know
justify
what?
that.
Leasing, that makes sense because how expensive the battery is. So,
Yeah.
because if you own it, good luck trying to resell it because you have to
Yeah.
resell it for really
The
cheap.
36 month. Do the math on that. 36 months times 1769
What is that higher math?
with 7,500 down too.
Times how?
36
So 64,000.
plus 7,500. So you're already low 70s just to get the car.
Just to drive the car around.
Then you turn it in. You have to go lease another one.
I want to know what their like warranty is again. I'll look around the website. Let me just take this off. That's expensive.
So 3 years, that's too much money. I'd rather buy it.
I'm surprised there's no like subscription base yet for vehicles. I mean, I guess lease.
Yeah. I think you should buy it because you'll get 100,000 miles.
I mean, I don't know. Lease is so expensive.
It's too
though.
expensive. It's crazy expensive. But it makes sense because it's battery. Because they need to make their money off of it in case a secondary market you're selling it with 36,000
I mean,
miles.
it makes most sense money-wise if you have a solar panel, because right now solar is a little But if you're double dipping using the solar power to charge a car, that makes a little bit more sense now.
So you're pro solar.
Not fully. The technology is not.
Like the guys that come to your house and say, "Hey, would you like the
No,
solar
F
panel?"
those guys.
Right?
Yeah,
I tell them that all the time. I'm not buying solar. Why? You just don't know about solar. No, you're unregulated industry that you prey on people to buy this and but there's no money out of pocket. Yeah, but you add it to my you make me get a loan for it. Like no, why? What? If it's so great, just give it to me.
We need to look at your bill. No, you don't. Well, just so you have an idea of how much power I use.
Yeah.
It's like, screw that. You
Yeah.
don't have to look at my information.
8-year, 100,000 mile warranty. The Model S has 8-year, 150,000 miles.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's great for the S. The 3 long range has 120.
But once you're, well, it's based on what comes first, right?
Yeah.
Well, 8 years is a good amount of time. I thought they used to be like 3 years.
I would see that's why you buy. And I would probably take a
Uh,
I don't know.
but solar, I do believe solar is unnecessarily expensive.
It is so unnecessarily expensive, and they do it on purpose so the companies can make money. I get it, but if it's so great, then just give everyone the panels.
Let me Google one thing about solar.
Okay, 25, 30.
So you could break even.
The average break even on a solar panel occurs 6 to 10 years. But what if you want to move? That's the only problem I have with solar panels. What if you move?
Solar panels adds to the value of your house, though.
Depends. Not if you have a payment on there. You're adding an extra payment for the
right.
person, right?
So
You have to pick up the solar payment payments if you buy the house. I mean, you don't have to, but then you won't get the house.
Well, you can buy it out, right?
You can buy it out and get it. See if the original owners will pay it out, but there'll be thousands, tens of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing I don't like about solar. Like, oh, cool, let's add it, but then you're like, oh shoot, let's go buy another house.
So that's based on Forbes, right? 6 to 10 years,
Yeah,
you break even. But I mean, I've had these guys who knock on my door like 25,000. I'm like, no, not doing it. I don't use that much electricity. My summers has been like $200 a month.
that's great. Ours is like 4 something,
Mm-hmm.
450, almost 5. I know my parents are like that. I've seen their bill. It's like 500. It's crazy. It's still hot in there. So I'm like, how are you guys paying so much?
Is it because it's an older home and the insulation's not that good?
Yeah.
Probably just have to have someone to insulate it better sometime.
Well, I told them with the new AC that are coming, I told them do all the ducts. Have them inspect all the ducts in the house.
Yeah.
You might as well do that because what if you're not something stuck on one of the ducts and you're paying all this for a new AC unit and you're not getting
They're
all
not
this
paying
stuff?
for it anyway.
Well, they're paying like $1,000 for like the small stuff.
No. Our parents are not paying for it. We're paying for
Oh
it.
yeah, we're paying for it. You're right. Yeah, we're paying for it.
They're not in a position to complain about anything.
Yeah, I even told that to Dad when I went with him to his this meeting we had. I was like, "Yeah, we're all pitching in for the AC thing." He goes, "Oh, you shouldn't have to do it." I'm like, "I know, but you're not. You don't have the money."
Parents still live of like, $1,000 to them is so much more compared to us, right? Because they still live in the days of like $10 an hour was like the norm paycheck, right?
Yeah,
While we're making like 4 times more, if not more than that.
yeah,
So $1,000 to us is much different to them. So that's why they feel a little hesitant to ask for like $1,000 of assistance from us, versus like for us, it's like, yeah, okay, pay it
Yeah.
off. It's a pinch, it sucks, but whatever.
yeah.
You need this now versus how we lived. Like we couldn't have anything fixed for a while. Everything was always broken.
Oh yeah,
One thing gets fixed. We couldn't just stay on top of it. One thing would be fixed. they paid a lot of money for it, and 3 other things would be broken. It's just
Yep.
like staying on top of things like whack-a-mole.
All right. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope. Well, until next time, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and we're out.